Hello guys. First of all, I would like to thank you all to subscribe my channel. I'm happy that you all are finding my channel informative and useful because the last video which I had made on logarithm and today's video, between these two videos I have observed that my subscribers have crossed 160. Okay, it's 163 subscribers. Thank you guys. I'm happy I'm growing. Okay, thank you for your support. Alright, coming back to the topic. I have observed, as I teach, I have observed that many of the students face problem in understanding, remembering or drawing the structures of purines and pyramids. Like see, structure has always been a mess for students. Many of them like to draw structures but they are not able to understand how to draw it. So to make that thing easy, I have brought this, okay. Now, I know this is not useful for 9, 10, but in 11, 12 boards, for all boards, they might ask in exam. Also, there is maximum probabilities for questions based on purines and pyramidal structure to be asked in the NEET. Okay, so as well as in JEE they may ask in chemistry section, very rarely, but they may ask. So structure of purines and pyramids are a bit difficult. We know to differentiate between purines and pyramids, but how can I differentiate between the two purines which exist and the three pyramids which exist? So for that I have brought this video, or I am making this video. So I have just written some common or some basic points. You can see only 6 steps are there. In 6 steps we'll be discussing the complete structure, and at the end of the 6 steps we'll be able to draw the structure of purine and both the purines, adenine as well as guanine. So let's start. So the first point is what? Draw adjoining hexagon and pentagon with one common side. Okay, let's draw it. Now as we have two purines, we'll draw two structures side by side. Okay, so that we can construct both of them together. So as I have written there already, that we need to draw a hexagon and a pentagon in an adjoining manner. This is my hexagon and a pentagon. Okay. Second, place carbon and nitrogen alternately at the vertices of the structure. So for that you need to know from where to start. So start from this point of hexagon. Okay. So carbon, nitrogen, carbon, nitrogen, carbon, nitrogen, carbon, nitrogen, carbon. Okay. In this way we have placed. The third, do it in this structure also. Carbon, nitrogen, carbon, nitrogen, carbon, nitrogen, carbon, nitrogen and carbon. Alright. Number the members, vertices of the structure in infinity manner, infinity symbol manner. It should start from here. See this in this way. So in this way we'll number. Okay, let's number it. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This is not the typical way to number, but for your easiness, we are just drawing it. Now, actual numbering starts from this nitrogen, not from this carbon. Okay. Alright. Then, next, place alternate double bonds. It's common for both of them, but I have mentioned here for adenine all the alternate double bonds have to be present. So alternate double bond will start from where? It will start from between 1 and 2. Okay, so this I will be constructing adenine, so let's draw alternate double bonds. Double bond, double bond, double bond and double bond. Okay, for guanine what I have written, skip double bond between first and second member. So remaining all double bonds will exist, but only between first and second member you have to skip it. So this gone, then this double bond, and this double bond. Next, attach following groups. Adenine should have NH2 on first member. So let's attach NH2. This is first member. Let's attach NH2. Okay. Guanine should have double bond O on first. So double bond O on first member and NH2 on third member. This. Okay. Now balance remaining bonds with carbon and nitrogen with hydrogen. So let's balance it then. Okay, this carbon has 1, 2, 3 and 4 bonds, nitrogen has 3 bonds. Okay, we know nitrogen can form only 3 bonds, carbon can form only 4 bonds. If you find any carbon or nitrogen empty, having 1 bond left or 2 bonds left, there you will balance it with hydrogen. So see, this has 4 bonds, this has 3 bonds, again this 1, 2, 3. So this will have your hydrogen. Okay, 1, 2, 3. 1, this carbon has 1, 2, 3, 4. This also carbon has same 1, 2, 3, 4. Carbon, nitrogen 1, 2, 3. Carbon 1, 2, 3. So this will have a fourth hydrogen. 1, 2, 2 nitrogen. So this is your structure adenine. Okay. Here also the same thing has to be done. So this will have a hydrogen. This has all 4 bonds. Engage C 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. So this will have a hydrogen here. Sorry, not it won't have to. 1, 2, 3. 3 bonds are there already. My apologies. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And this has the fourth one. Okay. And this also has the fourth one. Okay. Just for your information, remember that this nitrogen is only responsible for attaching to the first carbon of the ribose or deoxyribose sugar for formation of nucleotide. Okay. Okay, and also the site of hydrogen bond formation here will be this and this. So double hydrogen bonds are formed with T or with uracil, thymine or uracil, and here the sites are 1, 2 and 3. These are the 3 sites for triple hydrogen bond formation. Okay, so see the steps once again. We need to draw the adjoining hexagonal and pentagonal rings with one side common C. Then place carbon and nitrogen alternately. Then number the members in this format. See, I've numbered them. Okay. After that, for adenine you need to place for adenine as well as guanine, just place alternate double bonds. Okay, we place alternate double bonds, but for guanine it was there was a exception that we need to skip the double bond between first and second member. Then we have to attach following groups. For adenine only NH2 on the first carbon or first member, and for guanine double bond on first and NH2 on the third. That is only the reason why there is no double bond here, because there is already a double bond here. So this will be your guanine. So in this way you can construct your rings. Now we'll go for pyrimidines. Okay. Alright guys. So in case of pyrimidines, I have written some few points. This will be followed and it will be very easy to construct. Okay, so in case of pyrimidines, we observe there are 3 pyrimidines. Which 3 pyrimidines exist? You can see here: cytosine, uracil and thymine. From that, remember, uracil and thymine are very much related. Only one group is different in both of them, CH3 group. Otherwise, nothing else is different. Okay. So therefore, it will be very easy to draw. Just the number of steps seems to be more, but it is not that much. It is easier to construct. Okay. So let's see. Now we know pyramid is a single ring structure, so only one hexagonal ring is there. So the first point itself says draw a hexagonal ring. Now as I'm going to draw for all 3 of them, we will draw 3 structures. Okay, 3 hexagons. Second, number the vertices, the topmost being the first. So let's number them. How the topmost being first? This, the topmost. This being the first. Okay, and number it, I can even mention here, number it in. For our convenience, I'm just saying the way we have written the points for that. Easiness of drawing. Okay, so we will number them in clockwise direction. Okay, so let's number them. Okay, so the third point says place nitrogen at second and fourth vertex. See, after numbering it is easy to place at exact positions. So this is the second, here I place a nitrogen. Okay, nitrogen, nitrogen, and on fourth, nitrogen, nitrogen, nitrogen. Okay, so second and fourth and remaining all the vertices will be filled with your carbon atom. Okay, then place double bond O on third member for all of them. Okay, so double bond O, double bond O, double bond O. Okay, next place following groups. Okay, for cytosine NH2 on first. So let's place this. I'll take this as cytosine. Okay, so here I'll place NH2. Okay, for uracil double bond O on first member, uracil as well as thymine. So for them, let's place double bond O, double bond O. Okay, next point says place double bonds for cytosine between first and second vertex and fifth and sixth. So for cytosine I can see between first and second and fifth and sixth. For thymine and uracil between fifth and sixth only. So next is for thymine place CH3 on sixth member. So I will consider this as cytosine, this as thymine, and this as uracil. Okay, now the last point says balance the remaining bonds of carbon and nitrogen with hydrogens. Let's balance like last time. Okay, so here this has this carbon 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 bonds are there, so finish. 1, 2. Nitrogen has 2, and this is the third one, hydrogen. This 4, carbon has 4. Here you can see nitrogen has 2 already, so this will be the third one. 1, 2, 3. This carbon has 3, so this will be the fourth one. Okay, sorry, I didn't place the CH3 group. It is, I mean, for thymine place CH3 on sixth member. So thymine CH3 on sixth. CH3. Okay. Yeah. So here hydrogen for thymine, hydrogen, hydrogen, hydrogen. For cytosine, there won't be hydrogen as double bond exists. Hydrogen, hydrogen, hydrogen. See, ready? All the three structures ready. Cytosine, thymine, uracil. Easy. Okay, and if you notice, these are the points where the attachment of your pentose, first carbon of pentose sugar takes place for formation of a nucleotide or initially nucleoside. When phosphate attaches, that time it forms nucleotide. Okay, so these are the structures. Clear? I hope you all found this helpful. Okay, if there are any doubts, you can ask me definitely in comment section. Okay, thank you guys.